Hello, welcome to this week's HopeCast. Today is Friday, November 3rd, 2023. I'm your host, David Lapp. We were just talking about here in the studio that it's right at a year now that we started doing these HopeCasts. And hopefully you learned something along the way. I know I did. Some of the reason for doing this was just to learn how to speak from the heart, just to learn how to share some of the thoughts, some of the things that are happening. And I'm definitely at a different place than I was a year ago. So even if you didn't listen, a lot of people didn't listen to all the videos. I know it helped me to develop myself. So thank you for being a part of our life. I wanted to talk a little bit today about year end, where things are at here at Blessings of Hope, as well as as well as the FPM event that we just had and what that was all about. So here at the year end 2024, we still need to raise around $1.5 million, 1.4 to 1.5 million ish, somewhere in there. Last 2 months of the year are definitely by far our biggest donation month, because that is when we put most of the focus on fundraising. Statistics show that most donations happen at the end of the year, and that's why we try to focus our efforts on fundraising at the end of the year. So if you're listening to this, if you're wanting to do a year-end donation to Blessings of Hope, we would definitely appreciate that. There are a lot of ways you can give. Check, cash, credit card on our website, as well as non-cash assets. We do have an account with the National Christian Foundation. It's called their Lancaster branch. It's what's called a single charity fund. And you can donate, non-cash assets, stocks, property, anything like that, just to help, fund the ministry. So any way you want to get involved here at the end of the year, we would appreciate it. And just to help us continue the mission here at Blessings of Hope. Scripture verse for today is out of Proverbs 13:22. As a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Wanted to talk about leaving an inheritance to your children's children, and what that means. I know for different people it's definitely different things. Excuse me, but we've partnered up with the Financial Planning Ministry out of California here. It's been about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, something like that. And Financial Planning Ministry, what they do is they help people with their end-of-life documents, their wills, estate plans, trusts, whatever they need for end-of-life documents to help people get their documents in order. And we host them twice a year, where they come in, they do live events, and they also do webinars. And at no cost to you, they'll help you prepare your will, your trust, get your medical power of attorney in order, your children power of attorney in case something happens. And according to what they share, about two out of every 3 people in the U.S. die without a will. And there's just a lot of unnecessary money that goes to court costs, to probate costs, stuff like that, that if you would have all your documents in order, you wouldn't have to worry about that. And we went through it personally with FPM last year, and I would say the hardest thing for me personally, or for my wife and I personally, was to decide to do it. Because once we decided to do it, and they had a questionnaire we just had to go through, fill out, and then based on how we filled out that questionnaire, they would take that information and put it into legal documents. Yeah, and then we had to get that notarized. And one of the things that really probably helped push it forward for us was there was a young family that we knew about where I think they had 8 or 10 children, and the parents were killed in an accident, both parents. And just the fights that the families had, trying to figure out what to do with the children, who's going to pay the bills, all how's the farm going to get sold or divided up, all that kind of stuff. And we realized that if we decide that before we die, the next generation doesn't have to deal with that, because we make it clear what we want. It's one of the reasons that we do offer this, to our donor base, our volunteers, is just to empower you to get your end-of-life documents in order. FPM, Financial Planning Ministry, has been doing this for 40 years, 41 years I think it is now, and they're very helpful in what they do, is just to help educate and understand, how documents work. We're planning more of these events next spring. Just watch our website. Probably spring and fall is what we're doing these ongoing. But there's ways to utilize the resources that we have and use them for kingdom purposes rather than to pay attorneys and family fights and stuff like that. So, not saying you have to do it, but that's something that we've chose to do, and I'm glad that we did. It's just one of these things where at the end of our life, our children will have documents that they can go to and read what we wanted to see happening with our assets, with our families, our health, and that that kind of thing. So, yeah, they also help with power of attorneys or anything like that. Now, they don't do tax planning, but they do help. They do have access to people that do. So, if you're in a situation where you need that help and you're something that you want to check it out, you can go to their website, fpm.org. They do like to see you taking one of their classes, but I do believe that you can take one of their other online webinars and still be tied into our membership with FPM. We're called to be faithful stewards of what God has given us, and if we can utilize things for God's kingdom that would otherwise be, wasted into a court case or a probate case or whatever, and it's also a way to keep your wishes private versus if it goes to a court case. There's so much that just goes public with that. So hopefully that I help you. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney or a tax accountant, but there's a lot of tools out there that you can get for free if you're aware of them. And that's why I wanted to share that. Quote for the day is, it's a quote that I saw. It's, God doesn't call us to avoid money, but to keep it in its proper place as a tool and not a master. And, if we think about money as money is not evil. It's a tool that we can use to further God's kingdom. And if we can take the money, the resources that God entrusted to us, and utilize them to have an impact, then we can make a difference in this world. We can make a difference in the people's lives that we meet, and we can make a difference in people that are less fortunate that live among us. So there's so many ways to get involved in people's lives. Here at the holiday season at Blessings of Hope is always a busy time for us. Just before Thanksgiving is usually by far our busiest weekend, because people want to reach out over the holidays and make sure people have a good holiday experience. There's a lot of needs among us, so whatever way you can reach out, whether that's directly to a person in need or through an organization like Blessings of Hope or any other nonprofit organization that's serving the community, I just challenge you to be a part of something bigger than yourself. So thank you for joining me today on HopeCast. I'm David Lapp, your host and also the CEO of Blessings of Hope. To learn more about Blessings of Hope and how we serve the community, check out our website, blessingsofhope.com. God bless you, and remember, you can bring hope to the people that you meet every day.